Full disclosure, I have avoided vegan recipes for my bakery from the first day I started, but I had this really yummy papaya I had for lunch, and I was like, why don't I make a cupcake out of it the way you use pumpkins in making pumpkin spice cupcakes? So here's the full recipe. I poured in vanilla earlier, and I'm adding a bit of orange, 1/8 teaspoon of orange essence. I'm going to pour in 80 ml of vegetable oil. I actually use soy oil, but you can use any vegetable oil that doesn't have a prominent odor, like odorless. That will work pretty well for this recipe. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of vodka. I'm sure you're like, why vodka? It preserves. The way you add brandy, the way you add rum. So I'm adding vodka to this recipe. I'm going to stir that in right now. Yes. While I'm stirring that, I'm going to add next vegan buttermilk. You're like, what? What is vegan buttermilk? I actually use coconut milk, and I added vinegar to it, and that's coagulated, and that is vegan buttermilk. It makes your cupcakes soft like when you're using the regular buttermilk. I add that into the batter, and I'm going to stir that briefly. I'm going to add the all-purpose flour in 2 batches. I'm not going to pour all at once so it doesn't clump up. So I pour the first batch, just eyeball it and mix that. Not too much mixing so it doesn't get strong. Just stir a bit with the spoon, because I'm going to use a whisk later on for this batter. Then add the remaining all-purpose flour. I stir everything. Yes, getting all the particles into the batter is essential. I stir that briefly, and I'm going to get the whisk to remove any lumps I have in the batter. How does it look to you? It looks yummy, right? Yes, it does. I'm going to get the whisk now, and I'm going to whisk that to remove any lumps the way you use an electric whisk, but this is a hand whisk, manual for those of us in Africa. I whisk that, and it gets smooth and glossy. And I'm going to set that aside and bring the cupcake cases to pour in. Here they are, 12. I use the Wilton cupcake tray, and I'm going to pour that in with an ice cream scoop. It just makes things less messy. Before now, I used to use 2 spoons when I scoop into a cupcake case, but an ice cream scoop works pretty well. I'm going to scoop that in one by one. And yes, I have to confess, I didn't add sugar to this recipe because I thought the papaya was sweet enough. But when it came out of the oven, the cupcakes sank, and I was like, why did this happen to me? I went online, and they were like, sugar holds the structure of the cupcake. So yeah, there you go. You're going to add at least 50 grams of sugar to this recipe. We learn every day. Thanks for